This week we are continuing on in Philippians 2, looking at verses 12 through 30. Paul has just talked about what it means to be humble, like Jesus is humble. And then is trying to spur on the Philippians to live their righteousness out loud. The Philippians have already demonstrated that they are totally sold out for Jesus Christ. As evidence for their care for Paul, their sacrificial giving, and the sense in which they are serving as an example to other churches. But the thing is that faithful living is not always easy. And that is a reality that is never shied away from in the Bible, whether Old Testament or New Testament. Sometimes following God seems like the harder of several options, because we live in the midst of a crooked, a twisted generation. And that is as true now as it was back then. In fact, in Philippians 2, Paul uses that phrase. He says, because of Jesus' work in your life and because of your steadfast desire to follow him day by day, in whatever context you find yourself, whether in prison or out on the streets or otherwise, strive to be blameless in the midst of a crooked and twisted generation. Living in the midst of a world that is just racked by sin and death and violence and iniquity can feel very dark indeed. As we start to consider our circumstances, it just might feel like, where is the light in the midst of this? Well, here's that second part. Paul says, be blameless, children of God, in the midst of a crooked and twisted generation, among whom you shine like lights in this world. Jesus used this exact same verbiage. He said, you are the light of the world. People don't light a lamp and then put it under a basket so that you can't see it, but they put it on a stand so that as dark as the scenario may be, as dark as the world may be, this light might help us to see. This light can help to guide us and others. When this generation, when this world seems to be dark, seems to be crooked, seems to be twisted, it probably is. What do we do? In the midst of the darkness, we let our light shine. I wonder if this metaphor just meant a lot to Paul as he was in prison. Probably a cold and a dark and a dank place. But he has already told us in the letter that his imprisonment has had unlikely consequences, good consequences. The whole imperial guard has come to know about the gospel. Even though it may be dark, even though the bars may feel like they are just so solid he'll never get out, Paul let his light shine. And as a result of it, over the course of time, thousands and thousands came to know Jesus Christ. We need to let our light shine in the same way.